Sim racers, welcome to the eRacing Association, where you have the chance to win $5,000 in one of the best tournaments in all of sim racing. Green flag in the air.
Are you ready to reach the next level of sim racing? The eRacing Association's epic Omega Cup Series lets you win big.
Is he gonna throw the block?
Racing with ERA lets you compete for huge cash prizes, get exclusive merch, exclusive sim hardware pricing, and potentially turn your virtual dreams into reality. Feel the rush as you race door to door against sim racers just like yourself, all from the comfort of your own home.
Straight away, they're an idiot.
Oh, they're wrecking! They're wrecking!
Join now to get your membership and experience all of the excitement that the eRacing Association has to offer at www.eragaming.gg.
Celebration, he hangs on.
Son, this is a Navy base, not a playground.
Sir, have a look.
So you think you got what it takes to fly with the Navy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you one shot. Bring him in.
Hey, can I get another cocktail?
Gentlemen, you are here because NASCAR wants you to have a street race on this base.
Hey, this is pretty sick, huh?
Oh, you think this is sick? If you want to race here, you got to show honor, courage, and commitment. You boys think you know speed? You haven't felt real speed. They're gonna flip you. They're gonna twist you. And just when you think you've reached your limit, they're gonna punch a hole in the sky and drag you with them.
Hey, Clyde, you gonna do stuff with that pilot shit? Can't be any worse than you're driving. Sick bird, Peaches.
Speaking of sick,
The Burner Carpenter's not gonna like that. Hey, boys, I feel the need. I feel the need. Seriously, guys. Need for speed. Does this thing go any faster? Hell yeah, boy.
Not bad up there, gentlemen. But let's see how you handle this next mission. This is NASCAR's street course, and that is the Navy security force. You make it to the finish line without getting caught, and you have my respect.
look at this turn right
We need to split up.
Let's just steal one of these f***ing helicopters over here.
Dude, we're so done.
We're screwed.
Thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Why did we not bring SVG? Guys, I got an idea. Lights on! You think we can outrun them?
It ain't the car, it's the driver.
Man, this course is sick. Boys, we're almost to the finish line. We got him! We lost him! We got him!
Gentlemen, we set the standard, and you matched it. And I am pleased to say that you belong here with us on this sacred ground.
Let's get to work on bringing NASCAR to the Navy.
You really drove an F1? Seriously, what happened? Why'd you quit? She didn't tell you?
Max Verlaine, mini car champion 2018, two-time winner in the junior category.
Since you stalked me, you know I don't drive anymore.
Oh, you don't drive anymore. She doesn't drive anymore. Oh. Until the day you do. We're gonna go far together, but you're gonna need some serious training if you want to keep your spot.
Is that all you got?
Just don't get too used to it.
And how are your reflexes? Okay. Not afraid of flying, are you?
Yes.
Fantastic.
know we can never be together, right?
Come on!
I'm going to demolish you in the qualifiers this weekend, and you're going to hate me.
Except I'll be the one kicking your butt this weekend.
You could have been on the podium. You have to start trusting me.
Is this your driver?
This is Max.
Strange name for a girl.
You could have killed me with your spoiler.
You stole my championship.
Oh, right, your championship.
You want to be the best? Then prove you're the best. Respect is earned on the track.
I can't control it anymore.
She'll be disqualified.
Damn it!
Tell her to stop immediately.
I'm on fire.
Are you asking me to be your engineer?
Yeah.
So I'll have to put up with your annoying personality for another year?
So we've been in Charlotte all week long. It's incredible. The whole industry has really been super supportive for NASCAR 25, and we've had 8 or 9 drivers trying the game, and you know, to us it's just another step in the process of making a great game, right? You want to get their feedback, you want to implement some of the things that they give you pointers on. So enjoy some of the clips of these guys playing the game and just kind of what we went through this week. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We just got done playing NASCAR 25. I would say it's probably the most realistic Xbox PS5 game that I've played. I grew up playing all the old games through my childhood, and it was pretty awesome to be able to kind of get on again, and looking forward to when it comes out.
I mean, the physics, I used to play a lot of games, and NASCAR games, and the physics on this game is above and beyond all of them. So initial thoughts are really good.
I was blown away by how realistic the game was, and just going through the couple tracks that I ran, like seeing how true the repave was at Iowa, and the new asphalt lines up with what we have in real life. The grip levels were accurate, impressive.
It's really cool, like see myself in a video game. That means a lot for me, because like I never imagined like saw me in a video game, and it made me feel like the first time when I jumped in a car, it was the same feeling.
Well, the first time seeing myself was, I mean, you dream about those moments, right? I mean, growing up and playing video games, like I said, 2K or anybody, and playing as LeBron James or doing something, right? You want to take your my player to the top of the, and have the overall, the 99 overall, you know? So now I get to do that for myself. I'm gonna be on that game 24/7.
For the first time ever, there's a whole new level of authenticity to the NASCAR game with the actual track scans and the car physics, which is going to bring fans closer to the sport.
You can definitely tell that iRacing had a significant impact on this game, from the driving characteristics to the audio, the visuals. You can tell the footprint that iRacing had on this platform, and it's a great thing because it just shows how next level video games can be.
iRacing is huge, so just the opportunity for it to go to a game console is also just a great opportunity for people that love racing or just trying to do it for fun and maybe trying to get into it.
I think the first game that I probably played was NASCAR 05. Got that game, actually had it on PSP at the time, and then played it on console as well, so that's really how I got started, and my friends said that I took the game way too seriously.
As a kid growing up, I was a big time NASCAR video gamer and would love getting to explore all the different tracks and see what they're about, and going to Pocono and realizing it's a triangle, and how Loudon, New Hampshire is really flat, and just seeing all the variety of different racetracks.
This game, from the driver's perspective, is what it needs to be. I mean, myself in my own career, there's just that energy level when you walk into the racetrack and you hear the engines and practice starts. There's just that feel that you get when you get in your race suit, you hop in the truck.
I mean, I'll never forget it. My first ever time at Daytona, when I rolled into the garage and they put my car on 4 jack stands, and they raise up the hood, and all you hear is the guns going on the tires, the guys working on the car, the spotter crew keep talking. Like, it took me away because it felt like I've been in that situation before, and it actually was like I'm actually living this moment that I played in the game a million of times. So now to be in this game even more elevated, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's definitely huge.
I can't thank these drivers enough. This week has been super special for all of us to come down here and shoot this content and get their feedback. We've had a long relationship with a lot of these guys, and I'm so excited. Even ones we've just met this trip, the passion that they have and the excitement that they have to get this game out and in the market is super exciting. In case you haven't heard, October 14th, that's our launch date. So we're gonna open pre-orders and we're gonna get you that gameplay trailer that you guys are all begging for about a month before. So stay tuned, we got a lot more information coming on the game for NASCAR 25.
Visit NASCAR25.com for more information on the game, and make sure you follow us on social media at NASCAR25 Game.
Officials at the Milwaukee Mile are very happy about the turnout for their IndyCar race this season and for the future of the series here in town. But they aren't anywhere near as happy as the race winner.
Tim Van Voren goes beyond the game tonight with Christian Rasmussen.
Is there any greater appreciation of patience than having to go through all the photos and the interviews and everything when you win a race? What's the great feeling like?
Yeah, you just want to go celebrate, right? But no, it's part of it. What a great day for the 21 car. It's been coming, I think, and just with the run that we've had on ovals this year, being able to get a win, not only for myself, my first IndyCar win, but also the first team win in a while, I think since 2021. Being the one to be able to do that for them was a great feeling, and no, I think there's more to come. This group is working so hard on getting better, and it seems like we are, so it's cool to be part of that development, and I can't wait to see where it takes us.
I was over near your haulers earlier. We talked to Alexander before the race. Sounds like there's a lot of momentum with the team. I talked to Ed Carpenter here after the race. It just feels like this vibe is heading in the right direction. Do you feel that way?
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's so much stuff that's going in the right direction. I think this year has been very much about rebuilding, which we are.
Christian Rasmussen!
But even here towards the end of the year, we're even getting better. So it's promising for next year. I'm very excited. I think heading into the off season with 2 podiums in 1 year, a race win here at Milwaukee, and who knows what we can do at Nashville. So great momentum, great confidence, great for everyone in the team. I think is just excited. So yeah, looking forward to see what we can do this off season.
You beat everybody in the field today, Christian, and most of the guys seemed really happy for you. Is that rewarding?
It is, yeah, it is, especially with the talks around town these last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's amazing. I had Foster came up to me, and Ross came up to me, and obviously Scott and Alex on the podium. Yeah, it's cool. I think IndyCar is such a great place to be. I think it's really nice that a lot of the drivers get along as well as we do, I think, which makes it just more enjoyable to be at the tracks. So yeah, it's cool to have everyone come by.
Lastly, where's Milwaukee going to rank on your list? I mean, the sunny day, the huge grandstand turnout, cream puffs afterwards.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's top of my list now. It is for sure. So no, it was amazing. It was amazing to see everyone out here. It was a great turnout, and what a great day for racing. You know, nice and cool, sun's out, and those creamy things at the end was good.
Drivers, start your
Welcome to the Drafting the Circus program brought to you by Sinister One Productions. My name is Frank Santorowski. I'll be your host for the next hour as we go over this past weekend racing and preview next week. Joining me on the panel, Levi, Jess Cesaroni. How you find people doing?
Doing well.
Outstanding. It's Wednesday.
All right. And Richard is off on assignment at New Hampshire Motor Speedway testing Goodyear tires, as he likes to do. And Lee, are you and Richard going to try to hook up tomorrow afternoon since he's in your neck of the woods?
Yep, we're going to try to run out and grab some dinner before he heads back to his hotel room. I think he's got a pretty early flight tomorrow or on Friday. So Friday morning he's heading out early, so we're going to try to jump up and have some dinner tomorrow night.
Excellent. We've got a special guest in tonight, John Oreovicz, author, race historian, journalist, one of my favorite people. But John, welcome to the program. So pleased to have you on.
Thanks, Frank. I appreciate the opportunity to join you.
Oh, no problem. So quick shout out to our sponsors, the eRacing Association, Emmit Smith and Jesse Iwuji, Fox NASCAR, San Diego 2026, Universal Voltage Pictures, iRacing NASCAR 25 development clip. You saw one of those. We're showing a different one every week. And again, Million Podcast. Thank you, folks, for the awards you've bestowed upon us. We're very appreciative of that. So, but first off, sad news in the racing world. Humpy Wheeler, well-known race promoter, mainstay guy in NASCAR, passed away recently. He was in his 80s, but you recall Humpty was the P.T. Barnum of the NASCAR world, I suppose. He would put on crazy shows to fill the stands. He'd have, motorcycles jumping over buses. He'd have buses jumping over motorcycles. He'd have people driving through hoops of fire. Anything just to put on a show. And his efforts were instrumental in the growth that NASCAR experienced during that era in the 90s. So, rest in peace, Humpy. Our thoughts are with your family, those that were close to you, those that you worked with, and those other lives that you touched in one way or another. So, but great guy, really big into racing. Sad that he's gone. So,
yeah.
All right. So let's get into our interview segment. So we've got John here. John has written a couple of books, and he's got a new one that we're going to tell you about. So, but you'll really know John from, I always get this wrong. Yep. Indy Split. Okay. And this Indy Split is required reading for anybody who's too young to remember the split, or anybody that lived through the split and thinks they know all about it. Because I'll guarantee
they don't.
Read this, you're gonna learn something. Okay. The other one, and I love this one here. This one is called.
Other side. There you go.
I know, right? Time flies. History of Pac West Racing. This is done in a beautiful kind of coffee table format.
Yeah.
It's got lovely color pictures, and it's absolutely
my type of
beautiful.
book.
But it chronicles the history of Pac West Racing, who had a great run in the kart series. Now, John's latest book, Keith, if you want to, or John, you can hold up a copy. You've got it in your hand, and I have
a rare prototype here.
A prototype. So, Class of '99, Triumph and Tragedy in the 1999 kart IndyCar season. I think I got that right. Or kart IndyCar series.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is in 1999, neither CART nor the IRL was legally permitted to use the term IndyCar. So,
that was the kind of in between.
No man's land.
I think in '99 they called it the Kart FedEx World Championship.
It was the FedEx Championship Series, and they were making an effort to, since they were licensing the term IndyCar up until 1996, from 97 on, they were attempting to rebrand as Champ Car, which was the traditional name for Indy cars before they became Indy cars.
Sure, it goes back to the USAC days.
Yeah, the term IndyCar kind of became common in the 70s, but it was the USAC Championship Trail before that. So you had Champ cars and IRL cars in 1999, but for the sake of simplicity, they're all Indy cars, no matter how smooth and unsophisticated IRL cars might have been. Sorry.
Hey, you're not wrong. I mean, but all the records have been merged now, so might as well
for the
just
most
call it all
part,
IndyCar, right?
There's still a lot of revisionist history going on. They're pretty selective about pulling nuggets from the era when it suits them.
yeah, or ignoring nuggets from Champ Car, when we're talking about maybe some of Scott Dixon's accomplishments and saying, Bourdais did the same thing, but so CART has a history that stretched from late 78. Their first season was 79. And they ran till 2003 before kind of rebranding or selling out and becoming Champ Car. So of all the years you could have picked to chronicle one season, you chose 1999. Now, I asked to do the same project, may have actually come up with the same answer, but nobody cares why I would have done it because I didn't write the book and you did. So let's tell me what it is to you, John, that resonates about 1999 that makes it such a special year.
I think, Frank, I'd have to argue it was the most compelling, and I use that word because I can't say it's the greatest, but it had it all. It had a fantastic championship battle between Juan Pablo Montoya and Dario Franchitti that ended in a tie, resolved in Montoya's favor on a tiebreaker. And Montoya was a rookie. He had raced he was the defending Formula 3000 champion, which is the equivalent of Formula 2 these days. And he replaced Alex Zanardi in the Ganassi racing team. And Zanardi had just won the last two championships, and Jimmy Vasser had won the one before that. But, Zanardi was a much more experienced and worldly guy. And when they put this 23-year-old punk in, nobody really expected much. And Montoya won the fourth race of the season. And
Long Beach.
Yeah. And he was spectacular. And then you had the backdrop of tragedy that season in the sense that Penske Racing was kind of imploding. They ran a single car for Al Unser Jr., and Al Jr.'s personal life was in terrible shape, and Penske made the decision to hire Greg Moore and Gilles de Ferran as his drivers for 2000. So for 99, they had Al Jr., and they ran a few other guys in selected races, and one of them was Gonzalo Rodriguez, who, like Montoya, was racing in Formula 3000. And Rodriguez, in his second race for Penske, he got killed at Laguna Seca during practice, and it had been the first fatality in 5 years, and that was pretty hard to digest. And then at the season finale, Greg Moore got killed. And to me, and ultimately, this is what it kind of comes down to, why I chose this book. I'm convinced that there were basically three key dates in the modern era of IndyCar racing that shaped the sport. The first one was the big US 500, Indy 500, dueling, the US 500 crash. That was a karma shift. To me, the most significant one was when Greg Moore died, because he was destined to be the next megastar. He won races for Forsythe Racing. Despite the Mercedes engine the last couple of years, he was the only guy that won races with the Mercedes engine that was a flop in 98 and 99. He was 24 years old. He had his whole future in front of him at Penske, and he got killed in this just grisly accident that played out, on cable television on ESPN. And it just, I don't think the sport ever recovered. I honestly don't. I think that he had that much potential. And talking to Dario and Elio and Tony and Max Pappas and Jimmy Vassar and Tim Cindric and everybody else, I mean, everybody's convinced this guy would have won 6 Indy 500s. He was destined to be that good. And if he didn't win 6 Indy 500s, it would have been by choice because he went to NASCAR or Formula One. But the most important thing, and this is why the 1999 season continues to resonate, is that Greg Moore brought a spirit of friendship and camaraderie to his peer group of drivers in their 20s. Franchitti, Montoya, Castroneves, Greg Moore, Cristiano D'Amato. There's like Tony Kanaan. There's like 7 of them that were born in a 26-month period between May of 73 and July of 75. And those guys, that generation, Castroneves, Kanaan, Franchitti, Montoya, Greg Moore, I think that they carried IndyCar racing from the 1990s to the 20s because, you know, Castroneves, Kanaan, Dario, they're not driving. Castroneves still is, but they have strong integral roles with IndyCar racing. And I feel that they were, as a generation, they had the same kind of impact that the greatest generation did. A.J. Foyt, Mario Andretti, the Unser brothers, Gordon Johncock, Johnny Rutherford. And in this book, I include Wally Dallenbach in that generation because of the impact that he had on IndyCar racing as the chief steward for CART for so many years. You know, Wally only won 5 races, but he was just a giant in the sport of IndyCar racing for all he accomplished in terms of safety and you know, driver solidarity and things like that. So it just, I mean, there was just so much happening. And if you look back in retrospect, it's literally when it all peaked. You know, the split started happening in 96, but the CART series stayed strong through the end of the 90s. The IRL,
yeah, absolutely.
It was you know, an annoying little, you know, flea that they had to scratch. And, you know, the CART series still really, it was really strong through the end of the 90s. And Greg Moore's death, it was just symbolic of things turning, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like Dario told me, he's told me this a number of times over the years. It quit being fun for him that day. I mean, he snaps his fingers and it's just like, it stopped being fun. And Greg just had that type of effect on everybody he came across. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you in a second, Jessica. You can be next.
All right.
99 was also like the last year that CART was, you know, before people in CART started dipping their toes into the IRL pool to see if the water was fine. And of course, 2000, Chip jumped right in and said, "Hey guys, the water is fine." And I got a Borg Warner out of it. And that began the mass exodus that, you know, led to the big shift.
Yeah, that was, especially if you believed in what CART had accomplished, in the sense that CART's legacy was that it took the Indy 500 and a bunch of crappy oval races in 1978, and it turned it into the PPG CART IndyCar World Series, which in 1996 was, you know, 16, 17 races around the world, worldwide following, Formula One drivers coming over here, Nigel Mansell and the like. And you know, the shame of seeing it all brought down by the politics. It just, it continues to bother anyone who, you know, they sit around these days and they talk about how good their television ratings are and how good their crowds are. But anybody who's around to actually witness the crowds and see and hear those cars and see the star power of the guys in the 90s of Mansell and Jacques Villeneuve and Zanardi and Franchitti and Montoya and those guys, it's a shadow of what it was in those days. And that's the saddest aspect of it all, is that it just, they've never been able to recapture that glory. And you're right, Frank, in the sense that Ganassi went back to the Indy 500 in 2000 with Vassar and Montoya. And it was almost like a joke to Montoya. I mean, he was literally flat out in the IRL car out of the pit. And he, you know, a couple other guys tell stories about their first experiences driving the IRL car. Like Jill DeFerrin says, I thought there was a problem with the engine. It was so underpowered. They're like, no, that's just the way it is. Because he was used to 1,000 horsepower. The last IndyCar race he drove, or one of the last, was when he did the 241-mile-an-hour lap at Fontana.
Yeah.
So he used to having a rocket in his pocket. And it's just the way that they all, the solidarity just evaporated, because, you know, Ganassi went back and he didn't have any intention to go full time. For the most part, he started running a car, splitting his effort, put it that way, in 01. But Penske went back the following year and did the Indy 500 only. And it's when Penske went full time in 02 that the mass exodus started. And it was between 02 and 04, you had Penske, Ganassi, Andretti,
Fernandez, Rahal.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, everybody except Forsythe and Newman Haas and Dale Coyne. Let's give some credit to Dale Coyne here for being a survivor of all this, you know?
Yeah, so many people left CART that Paul Tracy was able to win a championship, you know?
Yeah.
So did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
You know, Paul Tracy only drove 19 races post unification, and he made his comeback with Vision Racing, of all people.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Wow.
So, all right, Jessica, you had a question? I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, but
no, you're fine. John, I was so excited to have the opportunity to talk to a historian like you.
God,
you know,
now I'm even older than I am.
You don't have to be old to be a historian. I didn't say you were historic. All right, let's get it straight.
Good distinction, thanks.
You know, I started watching IndyCar in 2016, and it's so cool today to see that there are a lot of fans who are significantly younger than me that have come to the sport much more recently than I have, which is obviously fantastic, and we need that. But, you know, I think we are missing so much of the history and the context of the series. And I'm sure there are moments that come to your mind that, like, to understand where IndyCar is today, you have to know this. And you mentioned the 3 dates that you think are so important, and we covered obviously the death of Greg Moore. What were the other two?
So 5/26/96, which is the dueling 500s, the 1996 Indy 500 and the 1996 US 500 on the same day. And, you know, CART spent the last year going on, we're the stars in cars, and then they stepped on their tongue at the start of that race, and they had a 15 car accident, and they looked like idiots. And the IRL race, the Indy 500 with the amateurs, was generally clean, other than a last lap wreck, which nearly paralyzed Alessandro Zampedri, but we'll ignore that. The third date was Texas 2001, when CART was supposed to run at Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And they got down there and they're running around there. Bobby Rahal was running CART at the time, and Rahal made a deal with his buddy Eddie Gossage to get down there to Texas. And Rahal's team went down there and tested and sandbagged and went around at, 220, 225, which is what the IRL cars, were doing at the time. And when they got down there on the race weekend and they tried, they were going around there at 235, 238. And the drivers were literally blacking out. And so the morning of the race, they canceled it. And it was the lowest moment in a low 12-month period. They fired Andrew Craig in June of 2000. They hired Joe Heitzler in December of 2000. And from December 2000 to December 2001, CART just imploded. They canceled a race in Brazil. They had the Texas thing was the most symbolic of it, just because they looked like idiots. I mean, the same way they did in 96 when they screwed up the start of the US 500. And those 3 dates, the US 500 wreck, Greg Moore's death, the Texas debacle, I feel like that they, as a 1-2-3 punch, just completely shifted the karma to the IRL. And honestly, the sport's never recovered from it. I mean, you can see it's just been, they got back together in 2008 and it's just been spinning its wheels ever since. It has not made any appreciable gains in popularity in the last, what is that, 17, 18 years. And that's unacceptable to me. And as somebody that started following it in the 70s and loved it and devoted a large part of my life as a racing fan and as a professional to it, it saddens me to see that they just can't get it together. And to see them out there now in a 15-year-old car running in front of 3,000 people at Iowa Speedway, it's like, come on, guys, there's got to be a better way.
So, John,
did I kind of answer the question?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So John, when you say there's got to be a better way, right? What are some of the things that I mean, we all kind of, every now and again, I would do this to fix IndyCar. I would do that. What are some of the things that you would say, hey, let's try this. Let's try this.
I don't honestly have the answers. I've written a lengthy story that's going to be, in the US at least, the cover story of the next motorsport magazine that publishes, it's an English magazine, but you can buy it at Barnes and Noble. And actually, they've got a great subscription offer. You can get 6 months for $6 or something like that, or
yeah,
like that at the moment. Motorsportmagazine.co.uk. But
shameless plugs work.
They asked me they asked me to do a story of, how do you fix IndyCar? And to me, it comes down, I mean, the simple answer is it just needs massive, massive investment. One of the problems with when it came together in 2008, they really needed the Holman family to step up the investment at that point. And they weren't in a position to. They'd spent $500 million creating and propping up the IRL, and they just weren't in a position to keep pouring money into it at that point. But I feel like right now they're back where they were in 1978. The Indy 500's cruising right along, and the rest of the series is in desperate need of attention. And Penske, of all people, should know this because he's the guy that started CART for that very reason in 1978.
Yeah.
And so it needs investment. And from a perception factor, it desperately, desperately needs a new car. They're out there in a car that was designed in 2010 that has been running in various forms since 2012. And you're a series that talks about technology and innovation, and there is none. I mean, your car in 2012 was already 10 years behind Formula One technology, and it's a fossil now. So from my perspective, just, from an optics standpoint, they have to refresh the product. And again, from an optics standpoint, they have to somehow go back to some form of open competition. People are not interested in spec racing. When you're in a spec car era, I don't care whether you have two engine suppliers, because the engine rules are in such a tight box that you can't really innovate. But when you lock yourself into a spec car formula, you lose the interest of people who love cars. IndyCar, it's about cars. Part of it is about cars, not about a track, not about drivers, but it's about the car. And the car is not interesting. So to me, the very fundamental is you invest massively in the series. It starts with an exciting new car. And then you have to somehow soften the perception that the Indy 500 is the be all and end all.
Yeah, that's always been a big problem for the series, that the Indy 500 is bigger than the series itself.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to Mario Andretti in 1965 saying, I got recognized more for finishing third and being rookie of the year at Indy than I did for winning the series championship as a rookie. They've created a cult. IMS has. It's like Disney, there are people that honestly think it is the greatest place on earth. It's a racetrack, people. Yes, it has history. Yes, it has charm. It's a racetrack,
Yeah.
And they've built up this cult-like phenomenon that people just, everything is Indy 500 centric. And the one legacy that CART had, and my buddy Dave Phillips talked about this, is CART was the only group or whatever that managed to harness the power of the Indy 500 and take it and make it popular on a national and a worldwide basis until the Indy 500 screwed it all up. So yeah, it's you need a new car, you need open competition, and you need a focus less on the Indy 500 and more on making it, if anything, just to keep attention on the series 12 months a year.
Yeah.
August 31st is coming up in 4 or 5 days. They're going to disappear for 5.5 or 6 months then. That's bad business. Wake the fuck up, Mark Miles. I'm sorry.
That's $5,000, Keith.
Yeah, because I just watched a Robin Miller rant about this very topic.
Yeah.
Today. It's like, come on, you're afraid of the NFL. That just reflects bad on you. You know, you've proven for the last however many weeks that you have a core audience of 700,000 viewers. And if you go up against the NFL on a Sunday afternoon, you're still going to get 700,000 viewers because those are the people that watch your races. So to build on that, yeah, you've got to start with trying to make it a 12-month a year nationwide proposition.
Do you think the Fox buying into the series will help?
That's a tough one because, again, you look at the optics. Okay, Fox spent $130 million for a third of the IndyCar series, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, IMS Productions. On the very same day that was announced, somebody bought a 4.6% stake in the Aston Martin Formula One team, just a team, for $146 million.
Yeah.
To me, that shows how little value IndyCar racing holds at this point. I think it's a masterstroke by Fox, if anything, just because of the value they'll gain out of being a shareholder in IMS, and they'll make their money back out of IMS Productions. They're already
absolutely
IMS Production. They're partners in the truck that broke at Thermal this year, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's a sound investment for them. And the other thing, again, $130 million in the overall scheme of things, right? Even on top of whatever they're paying for the rights on IndyCar, NASCAR's TV rights are measured in the billions.
They are.
Yeah.
So all this is drops of water in a bucket compared to Formula One or NASCAR. It's great for Fox. They're getting in at, bargain basement rate. But it's also sad because it reflects, and this is the legacy of the split, because what the split did is it sucked the economic value out of IndyCar racing. And they still haven't fixed that problem. And you can blame the tobacco companies going away and the government legislating them out and all that. But the bottom line is that they've had 20 years to figure out how to replace them, and they haven't done it.
So as as an outsider, because I very much am probably the biggest outsider of Indy racing out of the most people I know, the panel here. One of the things
you're the new guy,
yeah,
I'm pretty outside of it these days, and I live 4 blocks from the Speedway.
So, from my perspective, one thing that draws me in is these updated liveries that these teams are running. We've got a couple coming up. The liveries on the cars. There was the Grateful Dead. And you think it's silly, but to somebody that doesn't. And please excuse the term, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but are fanatics about the sport in IndyCar. An outsider looking in, when I see, a Black Sabbath tribute car, and I see a Grateful Dead tribute car, and I see customer-based sponsor companies, Sirius Radio, stuff like that. Miller Lite, exactly. It draws, as the outsider, draws me in. I care less about this, that, or the other thing. It's cool to watch a Grateful Dead car go cruising around the track looking like, a tie-dyed T-shirt. It's rad. I like it. I think it's neat. It's like you said, it's small pittance and beans in the jar, but I think it's pretty cool. And I hope Indy whatever direction they go in the future, they can bring some more of that stuff back, because I do think it draws in some of the fans that normally wouldn't tune in to watch them.
Well, that's an interesting perspective, especially because I think that you and I are coming from the similar age demographic.
Yeah, we're close.
and again, maybe the difference between you and me here is that I've, watched it back in the day where it was easy. It was a lot easier to follow a race because the cars looked the same every race. There were 2 Marlboro cars, and you knew to look for an orange roll hoop on one car and a white roll hoop on the other. And there were 2 Target cars, and there were 2, Kmart Texaco Haviland cars. And to me, when I see these liveries that are different every race and sponsors that are different every race, it shows to me the lack of value in IndyCar because these teams are unable to sell season-long sponsorships. What are there? 2? There's PNC Bank and Verizon. Okay. Yep. And the rest
even
Penske, even Team Penske, the gold standard of the race, only one of their 3 cars is built on a season-long sponsorship program, and they're allegedly about to gas the popular driver from that program. So
don't get me started on that.
So, I'm glad to hear the perspective that it is resonating, because for me, I'm like, it's kind of neat. I like the Grateful Dead. I like listening to my tapes from the 70s. I'm not into Dead and Company.
Yeah.
But to me, it just shows, man, they're really struggling to get sponsorship for these cars.
And, and you see the same thing over in NASCAR, guys.
That was my point.
That's where this started, these partial season programs. And it started, 10, 15 years ago, when they could no longer sell the full season programs for the rates that they did.
Yeah, I just think that
sell the full season rights to cover the race in NASCAR. Like NASCAR back in my day was one network. Now
and which network was that?
Back then it was Wide World of Sports, obviously, because that's when I started growing.
But again, you were getting the highlights packages on a sporadic basis.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I want to say ESPN has a whole season for a while.
They came close. the closest they came is when ESPN
I think there were a couple of ones on country music television or
CBS
weird like that. Yeah,
500.
CBS had Daytona. Yeah.
So it's to me, you've had to look around for it for a while, but that exactly when I was a kid getting into Formula One, that's how I caught up on Niki Lauda getting burned on Wide World of Sports.
I think that's how we all started.
When I was a kid,
Jess is a little different. She got into this on YouTube, and
I don't know how old you think
so
I am.
Now. I talk in the book here. One of the things that the CART website broke in 1999 was Montoya and Michael Andretti got into an accident in practice at Motegi, and they got into a beef. They got into a shouting match in the ambulance and at the hospital, and then Carl Haas charged down to Chip Ganassi's pit or his garage to confront him, and Chip grabbed Carl's cigar and CART.com had video up of that, within a few hours, which of course, again, nobody could watch. And something like that happening these days would just be viral, instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine Chip Ganassi grabbing a cigar out of Roger Penske's mouth and throwing it to the ground or something like that.
Well, so John, that brings to mind something that, hate is good, right? That's
Robin Miller's mantra.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, I know you were close with Robin Miller, and I think, obviously we all miss Robin's one-of-a-kind storytelling, and I think we could all benefit from a dose of his honesty in reporting these days.
Sure, yeah.
But, when you think of Robin Miller, what are some of the first things that come to your mind, whether that's personal anecdotes or professional wisdom that he shared with you through the years?
First thoughts are laughter and swearing. Anytime you spent time with Robin, you came away smiling. He just had that way. And anybody who, spent time around him picks up his tics. He would mimic AJ Foyt. Well, this is quite true. He would mimic allegedly Elmer George. God damn it, Mary. That was a huge, God damn it, Mary is a huge Robin Millerism. And when you're with a group of people that don't know any better and you say, God damn it, Mary, people wonder what the hell you're on.
Who's Mary?
It was Mary Holman George. Elmer being her husband, and apparently Elmer's common expressions to his wife was "God damn it, Mary." So, Robin, it's just laughter and fun, if I'm honest with you, a project that I want to do, and I don't know if I can do it because of copyright laws, is I want to, put together the best of Robin Miller, his writing, just because I started in the 70s and I know that he's, he wrote about so much more than racing, whether it was the Colts or Bob Knight or Jeff George or anything. There's a Robin Miller book about Indiana sports, not just a Robin Miller book about racing, but the guy was fearless. He could pick up the phone and call anybody. And I deal with some social anxiety in that regard. It terrifies me to pick somebody up, even if they expect me to call. But Robin can do anything. I mean, a great example was in early 2008 when the IRL and Champ Car were coming close to being together. The Champ Car team owners had an owners meeting at Morton Steakhouse in downtown Indianapolis, and Robin and I went, and he bought dinner because he always did, but we basically went to just be there and kind of stake it out and talk to these guys when they came out and get quotes and stuff. Well, they were taking their sweet time in there. So at one point, Robin put on an apron and a bow tie and grabbed a tray and a towel and went in there to their meeting room. I mean, that's what I mean, that the guy was fearless. And I'm sure that had the effect of breaking the ice, to the effect that when they were done a few minutes later, they came right over. And Robin and I drove, when Kevin Kalkoven and Jerry Forsyth bought Cosworth in 2005, Kevin invited a few media people to go to London for the announcement. It was Robin and I. There was Jeff Papone, who's a Canadian racing journalist.
Oh, yeah, I know Jeff.
Mark Cipollone, who runs a website called autoracing1.com that Forsyth kind of cowed up to. Anyway, the catch was we were leaving from Detroit. So Robin volunteered to drive he and I up to Detroit, and he had a Ford Explorer at the time. So we went up I-69, and he never used the pedals. He drove the entire trip using the steering wheel cruise controls on this Ford Explorer, 4 inches from the bumper of the car in the left lane in front of us. You stupid motherfucker, get the fuck out of the gut,
Why does that not surprise me?
You're apparently familiar with Robin, but these are these are great memories. It was a terrifying yet completely invigorating experience. I don't think he actually knew how to use the air conditioning controls in his car, because he drove along. This was in November, and we drive along with the thing off until it was freezing in the car or the windshield was starting to steam up, and then he'd turn it on full blast for about 2.5 minutes, and then turn it all off again. It's like,
I see no problem.
No. My favorite picture of Robin, we were at Watkins Glen, sometime when the IRL was running there. And we were having lunch at Honda Hospital, and he's like, "Oh man, let's go watch some race cars." Because he called me "Oh man." People call me Oreo and other stuff, but Robin called me "Oh man." "Oh man, let's go watch some race cars." So we jumped in the Speed Channel golf cart, stopped at a concession stand, of course, to get a hot dog and a Pepsi. And we went out to the boot, and we just sat out there and watched race cars for half an hour. And I took this fantastic picture of Robin just lounging in the grass in his t-shirt and shorts, just high on life. And I just, when I was younger, I never really appreciated the quality of his writing. And I do now. And I can see how it rubbed off on me. If I, read stuff that I did 30 years ago and read myself now, I'm like, there's a little Miller in that,
Yeah.
One year for ESPN, I did a multiple choice quiz like he did. And those are always the best, the Robin Miller multiple choice quizzes.
I got to tell you, I really hope when I'm gone that people say When I think of her, I think of laughter and swearing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
I
great.
can't imagine anything better. I love that.
Swearing, I don't know if
about
it's
right,
super
yeah.
ladylike
No.
or anything, but you know.
No, but I remember like Robin was always generous with his time. You know, me as a, you know, guy working for smaller media outlets and writing for drivers' websites and stuff, you know, whenever I would run into Robin in the media center, I'd try to engage him in conversation and he never turned me down. He'd be like, I said, Robin, let me ask you this. But then, you know, but he used to sit next to Marshall Pruitt for a while, and Pruitt would be like, oh, so tell this guy to go back to the kitty paddock, you know, with the lights car or something like. And then Robin would shut him down. And I'm like, I always appreciated that, hey, I just want to, you know, Robin, if I email you this, we have a look at it, that email me back to what you think. And he always would. So yeah, great guy, that Robin Miller.
When I got my job as the media center intern in '93, I'd gone back to college and foolishly thought I needed a journalism degree to write about auto racing. And in February of '93, I sent a letter to the Speedway. And in the letter, I said, you know, man, I'll empty waste baskets, make copy, you know, anything except get coffee for Robin Miller. Right. and at the time, I was unaware that he drank exclusively Pepsi. I came to learn that soon after. But Robin, as it happened, had lunch not that long after with Bob Walters, who was the IRL or IMS PR guy. IMS it would have been in '93. And Robin said, yeah, he's a good kid. Give him a chance. And I owe that. And then later, I owe a lot to Gordon Kirby for helping me along as well. But those two guys, you know, I'd still be selling auto parts at PB Tweaks if it wasn't for those two.
Nice. Well, awesome. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. We do kind of need to get to the racing news of the week. So
that's a quiet. Why bother?
We got a couple of things. John, you're welcome to stay on and chime in. But I do want to mention that the book drops early October, right? You can pre-order it now on Octane Press.
Yep.
And are you pretty happy with Octane Press?
Yeah, I really am. I got to be honest. You know, they took a flyer on my Indy Split project, and I think it turned out pretty well for them. It's sold close to actually more than 10,000 copies.
That's nice, yeah.
Kindle, and that's a big number for a racing book. And you know, knock wood, I'm hoping the class of '99 book does pretty well. It's a more human story. I mean,
it is, yeah.
The focal point is the tragedy of Greg Moore's passing, but the theme of it is friendship and camaraderie, and you know, drivers weren't always that way. Uncle Bobby and Mario and AJ and those guys, they weren't too fond of each other when they were racing each other.
You know, one of my favorite lines in the book, and it comes early on when you were, as you generally do in your books, give the backstory that leads up to the main thing. You're talking about AJ Foyt being annoyed that everybody is, oh, Mario Andretti's everybody loves Mario. I won more races than him. Tony Kanaan looks at him and says,
that's Tony Kanaan making.
Yeah, Tony Kanaan says, yeah, but AJ, you're an asshole. I'm like, I just love that. So
that's one of the great things about doing the book is just how candid all the guys were.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully, you know, nobody's going to come back and, hey, that was off the record. Well, too late now.
It's on it now.
But no, I mean, you know, Frank Eady's the closest thing I have to a friend among the race car drivers. So, you know, I expected it from him, but, you know, Elio and Tony, you know, I tapped to my personal archive of interviews I did with Greg before he passed along. And that, and one of the sad aspects is that I had just been in contact with Gilles de Ferran right before he passed away about we were going to get together at the Rolex 24 or Sebring a month or so after he passed. And so it's unfortunate that Gilles' voice is not a part of this book, just because he would have had a pretty interesting perspective on a lot of these things. You know,
I always liked Gilles.
Yeah, Tim Cindric was great in that respect, just in terms of talking about what was going on with Penske and you know, because he just joined couple weeks before Fontana. He had been the team manager at Team Rahal. So yeah, it's kind of interesting too how Tim Cindric kind of, you know, he was kind of a guy that was succeeding as a young guy in his craft. The same way the drivers and hopefully I was as well.
Yeah, Tim Cindric was the first important person in auto racing I had a chance to interview to put on a website. Okay. I got invited to the old Penske shop in
Reading. Nice.
In Reading, got a chance to see the IRL cars they just bought for the Indy 500, and Tim was so wonderful, and we've kept in contact ever since. I just hope he lands somewhere great, or if he doesn't, I know he's got money in the bank. So
I think he'll land where he chooses.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the most brilliant people I've ever talked to.
I will say that if you work 25 years as the closest thing to Roger Penske's right-hand man, you're probably due for a couple of good nights of sleep. So
yeah,
here.
Begrudge Tim for taking all the time he needs to reconnect with his family and reconnect with just life outside of Penske world.
Sure, yeah, and I wouldn't fault anybody for that.
Yep.
All right,
we really look forward to reading the book, John. Can't wait.
Yeah, the book
I
drops
appreciate
on
you saying that.
octanepress.com. You can find John on, I know you're on Facebook, or you
Well,
got
if you can spell my name, it's johnoreovicz.com, but I have to admit I don't update the website very often, and I've got to do a better job of that.
Or you can find John in Nashville this weekend at the IndyCar race, like I will.
John will be making a rare IndyCar appearance at Nashville this weekend. It's
all
true.
right. So speaking of IndyCar, Jessica, 3 weeks ago you were praising Christian Rasmussen. 2 weeks ago you wanted to choke him out. Where do your thoughts land with him this week now that he's won a race in kind of a grand style?
I don't know, man. I guess it was cool.
Mind you, a lot of the credit's got to go to the team absolutely nailing the tire strategy. But yeah, I mean, good job to that young man, right?
Yeah, whatever. I guess it's cool if you're into that sort of thing.
All right. So you're still bitter.
No, it was a heck of a show. I commend the young man for keeping out of the wall a car that was trying to crash for 250 laps.
But a lap at times.
Yeah. It was an exciting race, that's for sure. You know, it looked like it was maybe going to be another Palou show, led from pole until right up at the end there. Late caution that really sort of threw a wrench in things, and you know, some teams made a different decision to pit. The leaders did not, and really seemed like the only one of the late pitters who made a lot of headway was Christian Rasmussen. So good for him. Yeah, new member of the IndyCar Winners Club. And
you can't on a short oval, fresh tires. You know, it's like having the keys to the kingdom. I remember several years ago racing in Iowa. Ryan Hunter-Reay had pitted late. I'm like, oh, he ain't not going to win now. And then he come back from like 12th place to just obliterate everybody else in the field to win the thing. I'm like, okay, yeah. Can't underestimate the fresh tires. So
what was cool with Rasmussen too is he went through the field essentially twice, because he started near the back and then had a pit speeding penalty that shuffled him to the back again. So he really, you know, he ran through the field a couple of times, and yeah, I mean, it was a heck of a show, that's for sure.
All right, good. We've got to keep this brief. iRacing announced they're doing a IndyCar standalone game.
That's exciting.
For home consoles.
Yeah.
So that's good news. I can't wait to see what the first prototypes look like.
Yeah. It's been what, 20 years?
Last IndyCar game I had was
about that. I don't know if you all follow Indianapolis legend Tony Donahue, but he said it took Doug Bull 6 months to accomplish what he calls, I'm assuming he's talking about Mark Miles as the vest, 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome. I know Tony
awesome.
pretty well. Yeah, I like his stuff. So we got rock band liveries, 2 of them. Connor Daly is going to be rocking the All-American rejects who are playing the pre-race show in Nashville.
Yes.
And
they've become the IndyCar
Rosenqvist has got
team.
the
yeah.
Metallica car. Keith, you got the graphic?
Those are both beautiful vehicles, I think. Purple's my favorite color, so it's got to be a good omen going into Nashville weekend.
All right, so Nashville weekend. Lee, who do you like for Nashville?
In Nashville?
In Nashville.
Country music? No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean Palou. I mean you can't go wrong with the guy. So
it's hard to yeah. Take the
easy
pick. All right, John, who do you like for Nashville?
I don't really care who wins, but I want to see Will Power win to make
so do I.
Next week as awkward as it could possibly be for Penske.
Yes. Yeah. I really hate the fact that Will Power stubbed his toe at Milwaukee there.
Agreed.
After winning in Portland. Jess, who do you like?
I'm going to keep saying it, and one of these days, gosh darn it, I'm going to be right.
Connor Daly?
Connor Daly, it is time, but also can't count out the hometown hero, Joseph Newgarden.
Jess, buying a lottery ticket is a slim chance.
But somebody's got to win.
Maybe not tonight.
Maybe not tonight. Yeah, the crowd will go nuts if Newgarden wins, but I personally want to see.
Would Joseph Newgarden get booed if he won in Nashville?
I doubt it.
It's a fair question. He got booed this year.
He's got booed quite a bit this year.
He hasn't exactly resuscitated his reputation in the 3 months since.
No,
now, exactly. I was like, Newgarden can win, but I'd like to see him go winless this year. Just
look at us. We're all on the Schadenfreude train.
I know, but I would love to see Will Power win. John already took that pick, so I'll say, who's been kind of itching for a win all year long?
A lot of guys.
Top, Felix Rosenqvist.
Yeah, he had a rough weekend.
Or maybe even Lundgaard. But I want to say it'll probably be Palou, but whatever. All right, NASCAR.
Last race of the season. Who knows?
We got 3 minutes, Jess.
All right, fine.
NASCAR.
I'm done.
We're gonna go in a green white checker here.
One lap.
Playoff grid set. Okay. No changes at the bottom, thanks to the fact that Ryan Blaney won, who already had a previous race win. There were several guys up there in contention, including Eric Jones in a Richard Petty tribute livery in the 43 car. That would have been pretty cool, but at the end of the day, it was Ryan Blaney. So we'll make our predictions for the chase next week.
Anybody but Denny, since I'm here.
Yeah. Anybody but Denny. Yep. So where are we racing next? I don't even know. I think the first is it Darlington? It is, isn't it?
I think so.
All right, who do you like for Darlington, Lee?
Who do I like for Darlington? I'm sorry, John. I had to say Denny Hamlin.
Oh man, I was going to say. I was going to turn the tables in here and say I'll take Denny. So I'll take Blaney.
Jess, you going to take Kyle Larson again?
No, I'm going to go with Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell. I like Christopher Bell. He's a good dude. I'm going to go with no idea. No idea. I'm going to go
Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar, yeah. So.
Yeah. SVG, why not? He's got to get his first oval win somewhere.
And the other thing coming out of the weekend in NASCAR was, when was the last time we saw a relief driver actually win a race?
That was so cool.
It came up. It was Eric Almirola for Denny Hamlin or vice versa, like a Xfinity race at Milwaukee, something like that.
Yeah. So, but Parker Klingman wins the race, but Connor Zilich gets the point. And, we on this show, we love Connor Zilich.
Yeah.
He's
I also love
real deal. That guy is the real deal.
Absolutely.
He is. Yeah, he's insane. We've been following him since he's been in MX5.
I've covered him in IMSA for the last couple of years, and the guy's the winner.
Yeah, that guy is
unbelievably
talented,
polished and mature for his age out of the car.
Yeah.
Obviously a hell of a driver.
Yeah.
He'll be the
I
Tiger.
also
He'll
love
be the
Parker
Tiger Woods in
Kligerman, though.
NASCAR. Absolutely.
All right, Formula One. I guess the crazy news story is Red Bull is reportedly interested in signing.
They did
Alex Palou.
Nah.
However, Chip Ganassi says that's clickbait and nonsense. Alex Palou says
that's clickbait.
He says he hasn't talked to anybody at Red Bull. So, but you know how these things happen, John. You know how these things happen. Some journalists ask a question at a press conference. They say, "Hey, Helmut Marko, what do you think of Alex Palou?" He says, yeah, fine driver. I'd love to work with him someday." Okay, my headline is Red Bull wants to sign Alex Palou.
Every report that I've read about this traces it back to an Indy Star report.
Well, there you go.
So let's not mention that there is real Formula One news, and that is Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas are the Cadillac lineup.
Yep.
And here is my reaction. Oh, sorry.
So the two guys that were teammates to world champions are now the Cadillac drivers. Yep, that was
proven number 2 drivers in a team that needs a number 1.
Yeah.
Who's out there that you think would be a great number 1?
Well, that's just it. I don't have the answer.
Yeah,
Alex Palou.
I would. Well, that's the thing. I mean, of all the second-tier drivers that haven't driven in Formula One in the world right now, Alex Palou is probably
better than half of them.
Yeah, but the problem is that IndyCar has such a poor record since Montoya. That's 25 years ago now. Any IndyCar driver that's gone over there, they don't adapt well. And I think
they've all fizzled except for Villeneuve.
And I think it'd be worse than ever now, just because one of the reasons is the Formula One car was always lighter, faster, and more nimble than the Indy car, and the Indy car is slower and heavier than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a really tough transition.
Of course, the Formula One cars are pretty ponderous these days too. So
they're huge. They're bigger than a soccer.
They have a longer wheelbase than a Suburban or an Escalade. It's unbelievable.
Crazy. So we're back to racing after the winter break, going to Zanvoort. Lee, wake up over there. Who you like for Zanvoort?
Who do I like at Zanvoort? I'm actually going to go with Lewis Hamilton.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
I mean, Connor Daly, my goodness.
Right. No, but so like Lewis, he's had a terrible first half of the year.
He's had a terrible year of the year.
Lewis doesn't adapt well when things aren't going his way, and things aren't.
I mean, look how often Charles beats him in qualifying and the race. So, but okay, you got Hamilton. John, who you like?
Oh, Max Verstappen. It's obvious.
Max Verstappen. Okay, all right, Jess.
Oscar.
Okay, so
safe choice.
Yep.
I was going to say, so that leaves me. I can pick Lando.
Our only choice.
Yeah, Lando's the only choice. Good call, Frank. Lando's in. Way to go.
Yuki Tsunoda.
All right, I get Lando. I was thinking maybe George Russell. Because Mercedes have been improving steadily, but I think McLaren is still top of their game. So, all right. So, NHRA in Indianapolis. Coming up this weekend.
All 4 blocks away from them.
4 blocks away from them. Okay. All right. So
you're closer than I am. I'm 6 miles as the crow flies.
Yeah.
He's in New
It looked like
Hampshire.
they had a pretty nice opening day crowd, at least from the crowds I could see from the outside.
All right.
Yeah.
Lee, do we see any records falling?
And if I don't think so, the weather game is Friday night looks iffy if we're going to see any, because that's the night that they usually happen. But I don't see any records falling. This
usually
week,
when the sun goes down, they
that's usually when
that's when Brittany Force comes out, and she's like a vampire.
Yep,
comes out, kills the field. So,
but the weather doesn't look so great for the Friday night to set any records on fire. But if the weather people are wrong, but are right, like a tenth of the time. So,
yeah. All right. So, John, you spent your past weekend at VIR at the IMSA race.
Yeah.
So, why don't you run down the IMSA results? We don't ordinarily cover IMSA, but I do enjoy the look of the cars. And, if I can get to an IMSA race, I've had fun at those.
Yeah, this event was unique in the sense that none of the prototype cars were there. It was a GT class only race.
Yeah.
And so the GTD Pro was won by the number 3 Corvette, Alexander Sims, Antonio Garcia, who are the championship leaders. And the GTD class was won by, I didn't cover it. I was on GTD Pro.
Won by some guy with a name that's hard to pronounce.
I am drawing a blank, I have to say.
That's okay, because I would never come up with it on my own. So, All right. So I guess that's got us out of time. It's 9:05. We're 5 minutes over. So,
for blathering on and taking you over time.
That's okay.
No, he's going to blame it on me. It always gets blamed on Jess. It's fine. I'll take it.
This is true.
Jess, I do not blame stuff on you. It's Richard. Richard is the one that soapboxes and runs us long, So Keith over there laughing, I can see him. So anyway, John Oreovicz, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Really enjoyed speaking with you tonight. Really enjoyed all your insights, and I wish you all the success with this new book. Again, the book is called Class of 99, Triumph from Tragedy in the 1999 Kart IndyCar Series. Pre-order from Octane Press. I think you can actually pre-order on Amazon now.
You can,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
they're promising delivery on October 7th. So let's see.
Are you doing any book signings anywhere? I know it's weird that your book comes out right as the off season comes up.
Yeah, I mean I'd really hope to have it for May, for the Indy 500 memorabilia show, but that didn't happen. So
you'll have it for this upcoming one.
Yeah, but everybody will have bought it by then, so I guess everybody will have to buy 2. I'm going to, assuming I have books by October 7th, which is the publication date, I'm going to take some with me to Road Atlanta to the IMSA finale, the Motul Petit Le Mans.
Oh, okay.
Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, to use its official name. And my pal Tom Beaudry operates the Gutswear merchandise trailer. So
familiar with the Gutswear, yep.
I'm likely to have a signing at the Gutswear trailer there. Fingers crossed, I'm hoping to maybe put together an official launch party at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. They are currently restoring a 1996 Greg Moore Forsyth Racing Reynard.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
And one of the interesting characters in Class of 99, Dario Franchitti did not lose the championship on a bad pit stop at Fontana, but he didn't finish well in the last race because of a bad pit stop. And the crewman from that pit stop, Dave Popolars, is now the head of restoration for the Speedway Museum. So, fingers crossed, maybe get an evening together with Tony Kanaan, with Poppy, maybe get Elio or Tony to check in via Zoom. That'd be unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
That I do believe, it's not officially confirmed, but I hope to officially confirm it. October 25th, I'm going to have a signing at Auto Books Aero Books in Burbank, California. A famous
Sunny Burbank.
Yeah, a famous auto and airplane themed bookshop there that Jay Leno often comes by to the signings there. Unfortunately, he did not make it for Indy Split, which was at the height of COVID, but fingers crossed that we get a celebrity appearance this time.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. All right, so John, there was one more question I was going to throw out at you, and we're so far over time, I'm going to throw it out anyway, okay? This regards the characters from 1999. Juan Montoya.
Yeah.
My opinion of Juan is that the dude is insanely talented and insanely quick, but I feel like he doesn't get the recognition he deserves for being as good as he was. And I feel that might be because he spent too many years driving in the upper midfield in NASCAR. But even after he left NASCAR, he come back, won another 8,500, tied on another championship that he lost a tiebreaker, and then went and won an IMSA title.
There's nobody in the modern era that's had a more versatile career.
Yeah.
And
but you just don't hear his name mentioned in the same breath as,
I think a lot of that, Frank, is because he did not play the game with the media. He didn't care about talking to us. He didn't care about his reputation. He didn't care about anything except being in the car and winning. I told him, I said, some of us call you the punk. And this is when he was the first time around in 2000.
Yeah.
Said, we call you the punk. He says, oh yeah, why's that? I said, well, you're just kind of aggressive and all that. He's like, I kind of like that. He says, there's one good thing that Chip told me. He's like, you don't make friends at the racetrack. You bring your friends with you. And so that's why, one of the themes of Class of 99 is this group of friends, Frank Heedy, Kanan, Max Pappas, Greg Moore. Castroneves wasn't really a part of that group. He just wasn't social. He hung out with his sister. They shared a hotel room.
Yeah.
Ilya was pretty green behind the ears in those days. And Montoya wasn't part of that social clique either, by choice. But he was friends with them and he had their respect. He very quickly got their respect. But he was not a social animal, and he's still not. But that's the way he is. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you. It's like, my job's to win races. And that's what he focused on.
And that's what he does.
I think it's unfair to, tar and feather him for his NASCAR career just because he didn't want to win a bunch of races there. Because, I mean, let's face it, Ganassi, it wasn't Hendrick. It wasn't, Childress in its prime. It wasn't Joe Gibbs racing in its prime. Chip didn't have the magic touch in NASCAR that he did in IndyCar and in sports cars as well. And I expect him to be back in the sports car arena in the next year or two.
All right. So, okay. Well, now we really need to end the show because Keith gave me the stink eye up there. So, all right. So thank you to our sponsors, the eRacing Association, Fox NASCAR, Universal Voltage Pictures, iRacing. And again, thank you to Million Podcast. I want to thank certainly you, John, for coming on.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm really.
I've got to talk to Octane Press, see if we get them as an advertiser. Look at their catalog. They've got so many really good racing books, but they also have like a disproportionate amount of books about tractors.
I think that's where they got their start.
Yeah.
They've kind of branched out in motorsport.
Kind of nuts, yeah.
Worked out reasonably well for them. They did Al Jr.'s book.
Yeah, Jade Gerst. Yeah, Jay's been on our show a couple of times. I love that guy. Okay. Yep.
And
so,
the Beast, I think too. I've
got
that on
he
my
did
shelf.
Beast. He did the John Andretti book.
Reprint of that, yeah.
Yeah, we've had him on 3 times after Beast, after John Andretti, and after Al Unser. Yeah, so I like Jay. He's a fun guy. And for a while, he was in charge of Indy Lights.
If marketing. I recall, in 1999, he was the Mercedes PR man in kart.
Yeah. And then a little later on, he was
unless he'd already gone to work for Dale Jr. then, but I think that came just after he worked for Mercedes in kart. And I'll tell you what, you did not want to be a Mercedes PR man in kart in 1998 or 99.
No, that's
Patrick.
Yeah, poor old Penske.
One parting shot here. Patrick Carpentier tells a story about. He says some of the Ilmore Mercedes guys came to a meeting with Neil Mickelwright at the Players Forsyth Hospitality. And Players Forsyth, Players was a Canadian cigarette. They had pistons as the ashtrays on the table. And the Ilmore guys said, hey, these are really neat. We need to get some of these. And Neil Mickelwright said, just walk around the circuit. You'll find a bunch of them lying around.
Oh, my gosh. All right. So I want to thank you, Lee. I want to thank you, Jessica. Richard, hope you're having fun up in New Hampshire. I want to thank Sinister One Productions and our fine producer, Keith Hayes, giving me the thing there, okay? I want to thank Facebook Live, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and TikTok, which Lee and I can't watch because we've aged out of it. But Jessica watches us on TikTok. So
I'd really like to know how old you guys think I am.
31.
Not as old as we are.
31.
No, nowhere close, pal. I'm about to be 40.
Oh, I remember 40
geez.
coming and going and waving by it as it went by. So,
now you're wearing it well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Point being, I've aged out of TikTok too, but thank you.
All right. Jessica, you're wonderful. You know we love you. So, all right. Most of all, I want to thank you folks that tuned in and watched tonight and that watch us every week. I know we had a lot of people in the chat, so thank you so much, all you folks that tuned in tonight. But until next week, have a good night.
Thanks for watching Drafting the Circuits. Make sure to follow Drafting the Circuits on Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. Drafting the Circuits is a Code Sinister One production.